Hello, my name is Corey Black and my U number is U64420175. The course today is GEB 4890 Strategic Management and Decision Making. The data set we're going over today, my major is Information Systems and Business Analytics, and the data set we're going over today is the CAPSIM simulation data from the capstone project that we did in the class. Each student in the class was part of a team who was then be able to control their own company and make decisions through 8 rounds of a simulation. And for my first sheet that we have here today is measure by company. The second sheet that we're going to look at is measure by round. The third sheet is measure comparison. And the dashboard is where we get into the real juicy insights. So for the first insight I'd like to go over today, I'm going to talk about the contribution margin. And if I go up here to measure, I can switch to contribution margin. And you can see that when you look at the 3 rounds that this data set that I'm presenting right now covers, it only covers the last 3 rounds of the simulation. Digby, which was not my team was Andrews. Digby is currently ahead, but if I click on round 8, you can see that Andrews goes up to first place in contribution margin and Digby is in second. The second thing I'd like to talk about is EBITDA, or interest before earnings and tax. Again, I'm going to switch up here to EBITDA, and you can see that through the 3 rounds, Digby is in 1, Andrews is in 2, everyone else is pretty far behind. And then on the round over here, you can see where our team Andrews made a giant leap almost right up to the top. But if you look just for round 8, you can see that we are actually we're still slightly behind, but we are right there about to eclipse them. And if the simulation continued, we would pass them. That's a trend that we're going to see. The third thing I'd like to talk about is profit per round. And if I go to profit and I hit just round 6, you can see that we're in the bar graph, we are significantly behind. We're about half. If you look at just round 7, we're still about half. They're going over. But if you look at round 8, we actually surpassed them. So between rounds 7 and rounds 8, we more than doubled our profit. So if the simulation were to continue, that would continue going, and that would be great. Another thing to look at is down here is contribution margin. When you look at contribution margin and profit, you can see that when you look at all 3 rounds that we are behind Digby in both contribution margin and profit. But if you go to just round 8, and say you just have our 2 teams, you can see that we're actually ahead in both profit and contribution margin. So if the simulation were to continue, we would actually be the better company going forward, and we would continue to surpass them. The last thing is return on sales, and now I'm going to pick up Digby, Andrews, and the average. On the return on sales, you can see that we actually exponentially increased it between round 7 and round 8 to surpass Team Andrews. And the way that we did this is we actually fully automated our factories in the simulation, and they did not have full automation. So we're able to have a higher contribution margin and a higher profit because we employed automation. So thank you for listening to me today. This is what I'd like to talk about for my Citizen Data Science Certificate for General Business, for Strategic Management and Decision Making, GEB 4890. Thank you for your time.